Welcome to the channel, everyone. Well, today I'm going to be working on my 2004 Polaris Ranger 6x6. I've been working hard and heavy on the 80 Chevy Silverado project, but to be honest, guys, kind of burnt out with that. I got to do something different to kind of get my motivation back. So I gotta change gears a little bit. So this, I kind of left some little details that I didn't quite finish up when I was working on this. I did a rear independent suspension upgrade on this thing. You can go back, look at my videos. I did a video on that because normally these have a straight axle in the rear there. They didn't do fully independent 6x6s until 2010 or something like that when they come out with the 800. But I kind of did a conversion on this 04, something Polaris probably should have built. Anyway, it's been working great. These 6x6s are some real workhorses, but I want to do some upgrades and, like I said, finish off some things that I needed to get done. First thing, actually I did this last night, but the bed is actually locked down now. It can't come up. I never put my locks in, and I had it zip tied down, and I couldn't use the bed at all. So I finally got that done. You just pull the lever and lift the bed up. Just like every other Ranger out there. Here's the latches right here. And all I did was take a couple pieces of angle iron, just like the factory did. These might be a little heavier than the factory ones. I just put them down there. I put this bed down, marked where they were at, and just threw them in there. One reason I didn't finish this all up is because I wanted to do a Ranger 900 bed on this thing. Just never got to that, so I'm just gonna do this for now. So one thing that you're not gonna see on this, that you see on all the Rangers, is a little hydraulic deals that help you push the bed up. Again, because I did a custom, this is an extended frame and everything. The factory ones aren't going to work. These older ones had two smaller ones, one right here, one right there, and they went down to the frame. Actually, right there is where they went to. And obviously, you can see it ain't going to work. I'm going to have to move them out if I keep the factory ones, but I don't think I'm going to use the factory ones. I may end up going with the newer ones where they went with one single one. But like ultimately, like I said, I'd like to upgrade this to a new 900 bed. It's not too hard to dump the bed yourself if you load the bed correctly. And what I mean by that is you put a lot of the weight in the rear. That'll help you dump it. I'm not doing a lot of dirt moving these days anyway, so I'm not really worried about having an assist. I do mostly like branches and stuff like that, leaves, so I don't have any heavy stuff in there. Now, one other thing that I got to do while the box is up here is the wiring. You can see there's a plug-in right here. This plug-in is actually supposed to plug into the taillight. There's a taillight harness right here, and this one here, this plug is supposed to actually go across there and plug into that. And I never did extend the harness again. This is all a custom frame. I lengthened it so everything was kind of short. So today I'm gonna lengthen that. I'm just gonna add a plug a weatherproof plug to this, which will extend it. And then if I ever do get a 900 bed, all I got to do is unplug that, take the 900 harness and put a plug on that, and I'll be able to plug it right in. So I think that's what I'm going to do there. And then I did get something else for it. Here's a piece of it, and I'll show you that next. So here's the next little upgrade that I plan to do to that, hopefully in this video. These are actually SuperATV. These are lower A-arms, and this is for a newer Ranger. But I think they're gonna work out. I'm gonna have to do some modification because the older Rangers just had one bushing that went all the way across. I thought these were the same. This is actually for an 07, but well, I swear that the 07s were the same, but maybe not. Anyway, these are used. I got like $75 off from new, so I figured why not, let's grab them, give them a try. I've modified stuff on here before, so it don't matter, I'll make them fit. These are actually arched, and what do they call that, 2-inch forward and arched A-arm, so they give you a more ground clearance because they're arched. Once I get the old ones out, I'll show you side by side. I took the little tag off, cleaned it up. It was pretty bad looking. Looks pretty good now, but it rivets right there. I'm probably gonna run these through the sandblaster when I'm done. Throw a coat of paint on them, make them look like new, then re-rivet this back on there. But right now, I gotta probably do a little bit of welding and stuff, so I don't need to clean them up quite yet. First, I gotta make sure they fit too. But I'm 99% sure they're gonna fit, with a little bit of modification on my end. So yeah, that's what I got, guys. I'm gonna probably start with the wiring here, get that wiring knocked out, then we'll start disassembling the front. Okay, so here's my new harness I just made. It's got probably too big of a loom, but that's all I had. But anyway, it's got a connector here. It's going to connect to the harness here, and then it goes here, it goes to the original plug, and then all the way over here to the other side. So that's pretty much it. If I do get a 900 bed, all I got to do is get another one of these connectors here, take the 900 harness, splice into it just like I did this one. Should be no problem swapping it over. I like to use these weatherproof butt connectors with the built-in shrink tube on them. Really like those, along with my battery-powered DeWalt heat gun. You got to put quite a bit of heat on these for them to seal all up, and that works really good, you know, without having a cord to you know, get in to do this electronic stuff. Having a cord is a pain sometimes. Just remember, you're going to need a pretty big battery for this heat gun because it sucks a lot of power. So yeah, you're going to need a decent sized battery. The smaller batteries don't last that long. But anyway, I'm going to plug this up. I got to zip tie it up out of the way a few places. Okay, so there you can see those are the running lights or parking lights. Basically, when you turn your switch on, you got two running lights back here. And then you got brake lights. So I'll have to go back in the footage to make sure them are working, but pretty sure they're working. The bulbs looked okay. I am having trouble with this Ranger burning these lights out back here. I don't know I got a new voltage regulator on this thing. When I got this thing, the voltage regulator was like spiking. It was letting letting it spike way up there. And I thought I solved that with a new voltage regulator. I thought I solved this burning the lights out back here, but it's still happening. I tried an LED, and it wrecked one of those too. So I'm just running regular cheap 194s right now until I get that problem fixed, because I don't want to burn up expensive LEDs. But the lights back here taken care of. I'm gonna head to the front control arms, I guess. Okay, you can see I got my Ranger tore apart on the driver's side anyway. There's the two control arms, and I'm having trouble. First off, I'll show you a comparison. You can see the SuperATV one is made out of a little bigger, I think a thicker steel tubing than the factory one, and then you can see that arch that they have in the SuperATV one. I cannot get this to fit. It looks like the SuperATV one is like an inch longer than the factory one, and I guess these are listed to fit 2005, all the 500s, and I believe 700s. But it won't list. It doesn't list for the 2004. So I take it the 2004 had a little bit different mount up here. They must have changed that in 2005. You can see this is a full tube and this is just partial tube. I was just going to add the brackets here, but I think because it's not working out, I think I'm going to cut this one off. I'm going to cut this mount off. I'm going to weld the original mount onto the SuperATV one. I'm going to shorten it an inch. Maybe an aerial picture will show you. It's about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter longer for some reason. I don't know. After 2005, if they changed something, I didn't think they did. Maybe the mounts right here are a little shorter, or closer to the frame. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that 04, 05, and all the 500, 700s are basically the same. They've got the same shocks, ball joints, brakes. But anyway, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just cut these two up, make one, and hopefully it works out. You can see also this one here is forward. It's going to bring the whole assembly forward a little bit. That helps clear bigger tires and stuff. If you want to run bigger tires, usually you do that so you can clear bigger tires without a lift. I do have a lift on this thing on the front only. That's what you do mostly on these 6x6s. You just lift the front. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna probably get to cutting something up or something here, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully it works out. I guess if not, I'll have to get some new control arms, factory ones, if it don't work out. But hopefully I can get this to work out. So I'm gonna start cutting these up, I guess. Okay, if you have a 6x6 and you're wondering, here's the control arm, wondering about these bushings and stuff like that. Well, what you have here is there's a shaft that goes in through here like this, and then you've got these bushings right here that go in. Well, there's one on each side like so, and actually to get these bolts out, you got to tighten one side and then loosen one side all the way up so it goes in and out free. Then you got to tighten that side and then loosen this bolt up, because you got a bolt on each end that you got to take out. So that's how you take these off if you're wondering or you're struggling to get them off, or if you want to know how to change these bushings. These bushings cracked when I pulled them out, so that's great. Now I probably need new bushings. So yeah, this is turning out to be more work than I thought. Okay, so now I got two worthless A-arms. Let's see if I can't make one good one. Okay, so I got the old control arm mount welded to the SuperATV control arms. So I just got it tacked on there for now. I'm gonna go test fit it, see how it works, and then if it works, I'll come back, weld it all up, try to get her painted, and waiting for the new bushings, I guess. Okay, so there it is installed. It's just tack welded, but I just wanted to make sure everything looked all right. The angle of the tire looks pretty good. Ball joint angle looks good, but you can see here, see the distance? It's increased right here versus the other side with the factory control arm. So that's kind of a big deal. That's why a lot of people use these forward A-arms. I don't think it's 2 inches. I don't know where they get that number. I don't think they're actually moving it 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches or something like that, inch. But anyway, it looks good, so I'm going to copy this on the other side. Now that I got the actual measurements, like, it's going to be a lot easier for me to kick that other side out. But then I got to wait for new bushings. They're on the way. So yeah, gotta pull this one out and weld it completely because it's just tack welded. And yeah, I'm going to clean them up, paint them, and install new bushings. You'll also notice the ground clearance towards the center of the machine with the arched control arms. Quite a bit more clearance under there. Okay, so I got the strut assembly out here in the vise. I'm going to show you how to do a ball joint on one of these. For those that don't know, the strut assembly, you got a bolt up here. It's a little dark up here, but here's the bolt that goes on there. I have a lift kit on this thing, so I got a little bit different bolt than what you're going to see on yours if you don't have a lift. You've also got to undo your brakes, tie rod ends. You got to pull your nut, pull your hub assembly out. That'll release your axle, and then you just slide this thing out. Oh, the brake line also is attached to this bolt here. You got to take the brake line holder off. Then you can take it out. You could possibly do this job with it in. If you wanted to crawl underneath it or maybe jack it up higher or something. Actually, if I would have been thinking, I would have put it on our hoist and I lifted it up, and then I think I could have done this job without taking it all apart. But anyway, I've got it up here. It's going to be easier to show you guys, and it's going to be a little easier for me to do. But yeah, you got wheel bearings in here. Kind of wish I would have got new ones. If I would have known I was going to take this apart, I probably would have ordered some new ones. But yeah, there's a grease tool you can get that will slide in here, I think. I've got some for my 900, but it won't fit on these bearings. So I probably need to get one that fits this one so I can grease it. And you can do that on the machine, I believe. If you just take the hub off, you can grease those. So I'll probably get that at some point, show you guys that. But we're going to start taking this ball joint out. First thing you got to do, you got to take these two bolts right here. They're Allen headed bolts. Take these two out, and this cover is going to come off. And then you got to get the ball joint out. And now there is a tool. I wish I would have bought it. It's like 20 some bucks. I'll link it. But I'm going to use, I'll show you what I do. I got some parts from my ball joint press that I'm going to use, and we're going to use this nut here, and we're going to just pull the joint right out. For those that don't know, there is a grease fitting right here that can grease this ball joint. So if you didn't know that, you can actually grease your ball joints on these Rangers. I think this is a strut for a sportsman, and all kinds of Polaris stuff use this strut. So I'm going to get to changing out this ball joint. Okay, like I said, this is probably not the best view of this, but I'm going to pull this boot off. That sucker is stuck on there. So I'm going to pull the boot off, and like I said, these Allen bolts right here got to come out. That ball joint does not feel that good, so this is a good reason to change these out, because that feels really rough. Had a little bit of a clunk up front when I was turning. Couldn't really figure it out. I got new tie rod ends too. Hopefully that clunk's gonna go away. But there's the little bolts. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looks like they have a little bit of blue Loctite on there. I'll probably put a drop on there myself when I reinstall this. I know this is not the best angle to be showing you. Then you got this plate right here that comes off. Only goes on one way because they got a dish right here for those bolts to sit flat. Now your ball joint is actually ready to be pulled out. And like I said, they have a tool to actually pull that out. But what I've been doing is I've been using some washers. Just stacking some washers up like this on there. And then all you do is tighten this tighten that nut on the ball joint, and it's going to pull that ball joint out. Okay, so now I've hit my limit. Like I said, I wish I would have just bought the tool. I hit my limit on there, because what it's doing is it's hitting this, the bottom of this now. So I've got to take some washers out, and I got to add spacers. On the back side of this. So you can't really see this. I can't really show you anything. But the ball joint is pulling itself out. Once I get almost done here, I'll show you it almost coming out. But it works pretty slick. Like I said, having the tool, $20, it is so worth it. I'll show you so there you can see the ball joint. This was all inside there, and it's coming out. And like I said, I just got a little cup there, and I'm just adding spaces until it pulls that all the way out. Like I said, go buy that $20 tool, and it'll make life a lot easier. Anyway, there's the ball joint. See the back side's open to take the grease. But I'll show you the new one. And I'm going to kind of clean this up a little bit, and we'll get the new one in. Okay, so hopefully that's a little better angle. Here's the new ball joint. The funny thing is that it's not open in the back, which is weird. I don't know how it's going to get grease without it being open back there, but these are supposed to be chromoly, supposed to be a little better, paid a little more. I'll link the ones that I got, but anyway, it's been in the freezer actually for a couple days now, and you'll notice it'll slide right in. I've got a little bit of grease in there, but they go right in once they've been sitting in the freezer. Get nice and cold. Get my plate. I want to clean that up. Anyway, you don't need to see this. This is just wasting time here. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to put this on, you want to make sure it sits flat so your ball joint's nice and seated. But and then I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna put a little dab of Loctite on the mounting bolts, and we'll get this buttoned up. So there it is, all installed. New castle nut, the boot bracket back in place. I put a little extra grease in there. Actually, I don't know if them are greasable or not. I pumped a little grease in there, but actually it just pushed on the joint, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't understand that, but anyway, they're new now. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm changing my tie rod ends too. These ones are also supposed to be chromoly, a little better than the other ones. I'll link them, but you got to be careful because these turn kind of odd. So if you turn the tie rod this way, it goes in. So if you turn it this way, it comes out. Okay, so that's how that goes on. This jam nut back here, you see this jam nut? So this way loosens the jam nut. This way tightens the jam nut against the tie rod once you get it where you want it to stop or where you want it to be. So this way loosens your jam nut, this way tightens the jam nut. Just to help you guys out. I struggled with that a little bit. Actually, I struggled with that a lot because I've done quite a few of these, but it's been a while and I was turning it the wrong way and I was struggling. So that should help a bunch of people out. Okay, so to finish this video up, so it's got some good useful information. Once you get your strut bolted back in, you got your axle going through your bearings there. You got your hub here. Now this might look a little different because I got a spacer bolted onto mine. But anyway, you just take this, it's splined in the back, so it lines up with the splines on your axle. You just kind of line it up, find the bearings. Once it slides in like that, you know, make sure it spins freely and everything. Where's my, here we go. We got a washer that goes on there. Get the hair off it from your dog. Put it on, and you got your castle nut. Put it on. I don't know the torque specs on this stuff. If you want to know that, look it up. But anyway, you tighten that on, and then it's got a cotter pin that goes on there. So I'll tighten that up off camera. Got your tie rod end right here. You're gonna put it back onto your strut assembly. Brakes. You're gonna put your brake caliper back on. I wish I would have got new brake pads. If I would have known I was gonna tear all this apart. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. And once you get all this assembled on your tie rod, make sure you put your washers. There's a washer that goes under the tie rod on top of the strut there. And there's another washer that goes underneath. Tighten them up. And now I'm ready for the lower control arm. I still have not seen the bushings for that. I'm waiting on the bushings. I think I'm just going to have to paint them. I was going to put the bushings in so I didn't scratch them all up putting them in, but I'm going to have to, I got to paint them because I can't wait any longer. Here's a little cover that goes on here. Okay, so finally got my new bushings. for the A-arms here. I got 4 of these. So I'm just gonna put grease on them and then slide the shaft back in there, clean these up a little bit, and then yeah, we're ready to put this thing back together. Okay, they are installed. See, I painted them real quick and I scratched them up, putting the bushings in just like I thought. That's why I wanted to put the bushings in before I painted them. Yada yada, whatever. I'm kind of disgusted at this point. Actually, I struggled like heck with one of those bushings. I don't know if it was made wrong or what, but the other 3 went in like normal. I don't know. It's kind of why I'm aggravated right now, because I really struggled with one. But anyway, it's on there. I believe everything's tight. I might need longer tie rod ends now. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it looks like the wheel is going to be pointed out because they're not long enough, the tie rod ends. Believe it or not, those tie rod ends are the exact same ones for the new Ranger 900s. I mean, they don't make the 900 anymore, but so you got 2004 Polaris Ranger running the same parts they put on the 900s. The 900s went all the way to, I believe, 2018. So yeah, they've come a long way, yet they haven't come a long way. But anyway, yeah, I got to get my tires on here and see how bad the toe in is on this thing, and then probably have to, like I said, order. I believe when I got the high lifter arched and forward A-arms for my 900, I believe they sent a new tie rod end for that setup. I don't know if it's longer or not because they run into the same problem. I don't know. But I gotta get my tires on here and kind of be done with this, because this has been kind of a waiting for parts deal. And then I had to modify those control arms. I wasn't expecting to do that, and it's just a fiasco. And I just want to get it done at this point. So that's what we're gonna do, right, buddy? Right, buddy? You can ignore me? Yeah. Okay, she's back together. Ready to go. Actually, I might have enough adjustment in those tie rod ends now that I look at it on the ground with the suspension down. I'm gonna take my wrenches. I got to get it out. I can't step back far enough and look at how the wheels are. So, plus I don't know. I think the wheel's straight. It looks like the wheel's turned a little bit. My steering wheel might be off a little bit. I thought my steering wheel was straight, but I got to get it out, and I'll take my wrenches and I'll adjust the tie rod ends. It's just you turn the tie rod, and then you got the jam nut to tighten it up. But yeah, that's a lot of work. Was it worth it? I'm not sure that was worth it, but yeah, it got done. So I got to get the car, Dad's car, moved out of the way at some point, and then we'll take this thing for a test drive, and we'll see how it runs. Well, there it is, guys. I think the end of this video. Just took it to the car wash in town, cleaned it all off, start fresh, add new mud and dirt to it. But yeah, I got my tie rod ends tightened up, and I think they're close to where they need to be. I mean, this thing doesn't see a lot of road time or anything, so if it's off a little bit, all that matters is it drives good. It seems to drive okay, so far I'm happy with everything. But yeah, a lot of work for some arched and forward control arms, but it's going to help me with the next thing I'm going to do to this. Well, actually, I got something for the seat first that I might do before, but I got some other things that I think I'm going to change on this. So stay tuned for that, guys. Yeah, it's going to do it for this one. I'll see you guys.